Okay, so we are in the top 5. Woo! So for number 5, I decided to go with a movie that I've liked ever since I was like 2 years old. But for some reason, I've never like considered it or thought about it being in my top 10 until I saw it in the movie theater last year. We have like a local movie theater that shows like retro movies once a month. So they showed this for the summer because it's the perfect summer movie. It is 1975. It's Steven Spielberg's Jaws. This movie has just been in my consciousness for so long. So when I was like 2, this movie was going to be on TV for Shark Week. So back when they had like the printed TV guides, there was a picture of Roy Scheider on the cover of the TV guide. And I saw it and I thought it was my dad. And they look a lot alike. And I saw it and I was like, Daddy. And my mom's like, that's not Daddy. And I'm like, Daddy, it's Daddy. And I was like 2 and I was totally convinced it was a picture of my dad. And so that's kind of been a running joke in my family ever since. Yeah, seeing it in theaters was a whole new experience, even though I've seen this movie like millions of times. It says a lot about a movie when you've seen it so many times, and even though you know what's going to happen, you still feel like the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen or the unknown. Like watching the scene on the big screen when they go out to the water at night, when they first are like investigating the original shark they found. And Matt goes scuba diving, and that scene gave me so much anxiety. I'm like, oh my god. Even though I know he survived till the end, and him and Chief Brody swim off into the sunset, literally. And I love that they don't, like, really show the shark full on till the end. And if I recall correctly, I think that was kind of because of technical difficulties they had with the animatronic working in saltwater, if somebody can correct me, but I think there was some issue with Bruce not working in the water for a lot of the movie or something, so they didn't really show him till the end, but I think that worked out better. It builds a suspense of the unknown, and I love that. And John Williams did the music. You can't go wrong with John Williams. That theme is absolutely iconic. That fin swimming with that dun, like Roy Scheider's acting, Richard Dreyfuss, probably the best performance in my opinion, which is Robert Shaw as Quint. And I don't understand how that man did not get nominated for an Academy Award. It kind of baffles me because he's so amazing in that role and he just completely owns that entire movie. Like that scene with the chalkboard, his entrance scene, oh my god, it's so cool. And his death scene is great, and just there's not a single bad thing about Jaws. So my favorite scene or my favorite character is probably Quint. And then my favorite scene is when they're on the boat, when they first go out and it's like getting to be dark, and they start singing "Show Me the Way to Go Home," and then they're singing. They're kind of a little bit drunk. They're a little. The shark starts banging on the boat. I love that scene, and I don't know. I love that scene where the shark is like swimming off, and there's like this cute John Williams music playing. I'm like, oh, the poor little shark. Yeah, iconic movie. Also, one of my other favorite movies that a lot of people think sucks is 1941, which is a John Belushi movie, and it was Steven Spielberg, and the opening scene of that parodies the opening scene of Jaws, and it's so great. It's the same girl, too, and there's the mayor and Chief Brody's wife are also in 1941, so yeah. Okay, so now we are in the top 4, and for my 4th pick, it is 1975, starring Al Pacino. It is Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah. What are you doing in there? Who's this? This is Detective Sergeant Eugene Moretti, asshole. We got you completely by the balls. You don't believe me? I'm looking you right in the eye. Right now I can see it. Who is it? Cops.
So this is by far one of Al Pacino's best movies, one of his best performances. I think that almost any Al Pacino fan would agree that this is in his top 5 favorite performances. I know some people, like a lot of people, say it's his best. I still think Michael Corleone is his best. I like that this movie it kind of just feels like a documentary. It feels like you're watching this go down. Like that's what this was. This was a whole media circus that was being shown on TV. It was like this whole thing. Everybody was watching it on their TVs, and I think that this movie really captured it. It feels like you're watching this crazy bank heist happen on TV, and all this crazy stuff happen. And I think that's in part to that Cindy Lumet, who directed this, super iconic director, also directed a lot of other amazing movies like 12 Angry Men, but he encouraged improvisation, like the Attica, probably the most iconic scene, memorable, most quoted scene of the film, that was improvised by Al. He wanted improv to like make it feel urgent and feel natural with the actors, and yeah, I think it worked out. The way Al and Charles Durning play off each other, as Al's a bank robber, Charles Durning's a detective, and they just play off each other so perfectly. And I love Al's performance. He does one thing I really like about Al Pacino is, and that kind of makes him stand out above a lot of other actors, is that with all of his roles, he like takes on new mannerisms with his roles, like how he walks, how he does certain things, how like anything really. So in this movie, he kind of walks a certain way as Sonny, and then another cool thing, he has like this kind of twitch that he does throughout the movie, and I really like that part of his performance. And another highlight of this movie for me is absolutely John Cazale. You most likely know John Cazale as Fredo in the Godfather movies. So John Cazale and Al Pacino, they were like longtime friends. They were friends when they were, struggling, trying to be actors. And yeah, this was based on a real story, but John Cazale's character was supposed to be 18, but Al wanted John for this role. So he really pushed to have him in because, he loved John, and John was he considered him his acting partner. One of the best moments in the film is when Sonny, played by Al, he goes up to Sal, played by John Cazale, and he asked him, it's when they ask for the jet, and they're kind of planning where they're going to run away to, and he asked Sal if there's a special country he wants to go to, and he says Wyoming, and Sonny's just Wyoming's not a country. And Sal just stares at him. But John Cazale's such an underrated actor, and he'd be up there with Al and Robert De Niro as the greats if he were still here. He'd definitely have an Oscar. Yep, one of my favorite movies. There was one summer where I literally just watched this movie every day. It's the pacing and just the performances and everything is just so good. If you've not seen this movie, go watch it right now. Oh, I also like that there's no music in this movie, except at the beginning there's kind of this New York montage, and they play Amarina by Elton John, and I love that song. And Elton John. My favorite character is Sonny because it's Al Pacino.
Well, what do you expect me to do? I'm doing everything I can. I can't do that.
And he's amazing. And my favorite scene, I just all the standoffs with the cops when Al is throwing the money and the Attica. I don't know, it's kind of hard to highlight one scene because this whole entire movie is a highlight. It's just non-stop. So yeah. Okay, we are into the top 3, and for number 3, Star Wars, the original trilogy.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
I've had this thing since I was 4 years old, and it's falling apart. It still makes the noises and kind of lights up, but the batteries probably haven't been changed in 20 years. And I'm kind of nervous to change the batteries because they might be leaking battery acid. I don't know. But anyway, Star Wars, the original trilogy, at number 3. I saw this movie when I was 2 for the first time, and I was kind of scared of it. I was scared of the bar scene in A New Hope with the aliens at the bar. I don't know why. What was the alien band? I was scared of that when I was little. I really don't know why. Most of my childhood memories are tied to Star Wars. My sisters and I, we spent all of our free time playing with our Star Wars action figures, and I had a Star Wars birthday when I was 4, and I was Luke Skywalker when I was 4 for Halloween, and it's just such a part of my life and my soul. Star Wars is one of the only movies I can think of where I love every character. Any movie that I've named, I can probably find a character that I don't like or that annoys me or something. But every character in Star Wars is just so great. Luke, Leia, Han, Darth Vader, Chewie, Palpatine, R2-D2, C-3PO, Yoda, Lando, maybe not Jabba, maybe. You know, like, everybody is just so great, and I love Star Wars. It's kind of action-y, but it's very, very character-driven, and it doesn't, like, what I was saying about Animal House was that it's not like the comedy telling the story. Like, I feel like with Star Wars, it's also not the action, the sci-fi, the space stuff singularly telling the story. It's very much the characters themselves telling the story, which I love. And I feel like the newer movies did not capture that as well. Like, I thought they didn't really develop the characters as well. That might get me in trouble for saying that. I love everything about the original Star Warses, and I feel like the feeling that I have about Star Wars and just everything about them, like the combination of the storytelling and the plots and the writing and the action and everything, I just feel like nothing. My cat is being annoying. I just feel like the new movies, and they'll just never like compare to like everything that the originals did. And I know that's probably a wrong opinion, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that, but favorite character, this is really hard because, like I said, I love every character in Star Wars. Honestly, probably R2. R2 is just like such an icon, and like so much of Star Wars would not happen if not for R2. Like, I feel like the plot really revolves around R2 in a lot of ways. R2, like, this whole movie would not happen without R2. Luke was my favorite when I was little, but I still like Luke. Favorite scene? That's really hard. I like the battle between Luke and Darth Vader on Cloud City. I think that might be my favorite. I don't know. It's so hard. I love all of it. Yeah, my favorite of the movies is probably Empire Strikes Back. Here's Draco. Say hi. Look at my baby. He's so cute. He's turning 11 in a couple months. Okay, so we are down to the final two. And you guys, I am 100% sure that you can guess what they are. They're kind of tied, but I kind of had to break them up for the purposes of this video. So, without further ado, my number 2 pick, to nobody's surprise, is 1980s The Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah? Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
I love this movie probably more than anything. Truly, I don't want to cry, but I feel like I'm going to. This movie just truly, when I think of it, it just radiates just pure joy and happiness. And this movie means so much to me that I can't even put into words, and how much watching it changed my life. John and Dan, how much they changed my life. And I just watched it at a time when I like really needed it, and I feel like if I had not watched this movie and got into John and Dan during like a really difficult period, that I might, and by might I mean highly likely, would not be here right now on this earth. And I'm not even exaggerating. I really mean that. Like, I feel like getting into John Belushi, especially, like, literally saved my life in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. This movie is just irreplaceable. I don't know what exact word I'm thinking of, but basically this movie could never be replicated again. It is just stuck in its time period as kind of like this little window to like the late 70s, early 80s, and the music period of that time. And it just, the cast, the band themselves, like most of them were actual blues musicians who played with people like Otis Redding. Like, none of that stuff could ever be replicated again. And something that I feel like a lot of people don't realize, I keep people saying, oh, you could make this movie with these actors, blah blah blah, there could be a remake, but you just couldn't do it. It's just stuck in, I mean, I don't want to say stuck, but it's kind of like a specific, it's like frozen in time is what I'm trying to say. Like, not even just like the band musicians, but people like Aretha and Cab Calloway and James Brown, Ray Charles, like, you can't replicate it. And the thing that makes this movie so purely special is John and Dan and their friendship. I mean, they came up with the concept of the Blues Brothers, like, when they first met. John was from Chicago, Dan liked the blues, and he was just, like, super shocked. John did not really know anything about the blues because, you know, he's from Chicago, so, like, he would know something about the blues, but he didn't. And it kind of helped birth their friendship, and I think this movie just shows, it's at its core about their love for each other and their brotherhood that they had when they were together on Earth. And a lot of people act like this movie was just like, oh, we're gonna cast John and Dan in this movie, but like, no, this movie was John and Dan's story, and Jake and Elwood were created by them. They're a part of John and Dan. Like, they wouldn't exist without John and Dan. Like, they are them, and their relationship is based on their friendship and all of this stuff, and I just think it makes it so special. And oh my god, I just love everything about this movie. This has, like, everything that I love. It has amazing music, it has crime, it has sexy people, it has, oh my gosh, just everything. It's so funny. And the cinematography is amazing, and I feel like it doesn't get enough credit for, like, how visually pleasing it is. And I don't just mean John Belushi's face, but although that is the most visually pleasing thing for me. There's just so much I could say about this movie and why I love it and how much it means to me, and I don't want to be a crying mess, but I love Jake and Elwood so much, and just everything about this movie and what it stands for, and just kind of makes me upset that most, like, movie reactors watch this and they're like, I don't understand it. I'm like, what didn't you understand? And I don't know, it's one of those movies, every time I watch it, I've watched it so many times, but it's one of those movies that every time I watch it, I feel like I discover something new that I like about it. And I love the humor in it and the action and just the characters. It's just hard to put into words how much I love this movie. So I just love every single last thing about it. So yes, and my favorite character is, of course, my one true love, my dream man, my heart and soul, Jake Blues.
I better check up, see how he's doing. See, I have to sign it too. I usually sit in the car and write it out on the glove compartment lid. Okay?
My favorite scene is, I have a few, so there's gonna be a couple. So, the shake a tail feather scene, because when I first watched this movie and the shake a tail feather scene came on, that's when I was kind of like, okay, this is like something, this is gonna be in my favorite movies, this is gonna change my life. And then the Shape Hall scene, because I think that's the funniest scene. I love that, just Jake and Elwood causing so much chaos. And then the concert scene, I mean, like, the whole movie is leading up to that. And then of course the scene when Jake gives his puppy eyes to Carrie Fisher, because it's hot and I like it visually, because yeah, that's why I like that scene.
Oh, Jake.
So yeah, the Blues Brothers, and we are down to the final spot, number 1, and to nobody's shock, it is The Godfather.
I never wanted this for you. I worked my whole life. I don't apologize to take care of my family. And I refused to be a fool. Dancing on the string held by all those big shots.
The Godfather, to me, is just a perfect movie. Perfect cast, perfect writing, perfect storytelling, perfect cinematography, perfect costumes, perfect music. Godfather's perfect. Last week was the 50th anniversary. This movie has been around for 50 years, and it's still considered the greatest movie of all time. It still holds up. It's still, like, the peak of cinema. It's still being studied. there's a reason for that. Michael Corleone's transformation from little military marine, wanna not be in the family business, to being like the most ruthless Don is just, in my opinion, just the greatest story of all time. And the way it's told through the writing and the acting and just the visuals of it and the symbolism within that story, it's just unparalleled. And I know that it's inspired so many stories. Like, I feel like it inspired Anakin Skywalker in a way, and, you know, stuff like Breaking Bad and, you know, Sopranos, stuff like that. It's just unparalleled. It's just, the story of Michael Corleone is the greatest fiction story, I'm not crying, I have a cat hair on my face, ever told, in my opinion. And just everything about it is just flawless. And there is a reason this movie holds up so well and is still considered a masterpiece. So I think that's all I'll say in The Godfather, because I could probably make like 50 videos about it alone. So I'll stop there. But yeah, my favorite character is Michael Corleone, of course.
Don't tell me you're innocent. Because it insults my intelligence. It makes me very angry.
And my favorite scene, I have a few favorite scenes. It's kind of hard to pick one. Definitely when Michael's at the restaurant with Solozzo and McCluskey, that's like the big turning point for me. And then also, I would say the baptism is probably my other favorite scene.
Go in peace, and may the Lord be with you.
Especially because in the book, the baptism and the killings of the heads of the 5 families, those took place on different days. Like, they were completely kind of separate part of the story. So just seeing that part of the book with the movie and seeing how Francis and Mario kind of turned it into like this like big parallel is just so beautiful to me. And also the Sicily scenes, because I love Apollonia. I love how she symbolizes Michael falling back in love with his Italian heritage and his call to his family. Anyway, that's it for this video, because I just need to wrap it up because I've been filming for too long. But yeah, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And make sure to like and comment and subscribe and all that good stuff, and let me know what your top 10 favorite movies are. So that would be an awesome comment to leave. And also let me know what else you want to see, and tell your friends to watch my video and subscribe also, because I really want to hit 1K subscribers. And I decided when I hit 1K subscribers, I'm going to do my story time about the first time I met Al Pacino. So yeah, and yeah, make sure to interact with this video, because I think interaction helps the algorithm. So yeah, let me know what you want to see next, and I hope you guys have a great day, and go watch these movies if you haven't. So I hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. Jake and I will see you later. We're gonna go hang out. Yeah, have a great day.